Workhorse stock has been on an absolute roller coaster ride this year. Investors aren't sure whether to buy, sell, or hold leading up to the USPS contract, which is set to be released any day now. I've been absolutely smashing the refresh button on Workhorse's investor relations page, trying to get the latest news on the USPS contract. Also, guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but I finally have a lens. You can catch my ugly mug yet again. I don't know if that's a bad thing for you guys, a good thing, whatever. You can see my face, you can see my enthusiasm, and that's all that really matters. Thanks for putting up with me and basically watching stock footage Neo videos with me talking over them about how excited I was for electric vehicles. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for 4,000 subscribers. I really do appreciate it. I didn't do this with the intention of gaining subscribers this fast. It was kind of just a fun little hobby to pass some time. This is unreal. This video is unreal so far. Workhorse is unreal. Electric vehicles are unreal. Everything is unreal. Let's get right into the video. As always, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. Demolish that like button. Haven't said that for a while into this camera. It feels just as cringy as it did the first time I said it. I cover the latest news on lots of electric vehicle companies such as Tesla, Hyliion, Workhorse, Neo, Solo, you name it, I'm covering it. I do tech stocks, I do IPOs, disruptor companies. You don't want to miss any of that. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. Without further ado, let's get right into it. In this video, we're going to be talking about the USPS contract, of course, why Workhorse's share price is falling, why it was rising last week, whether or not it's a sell, hold, or buy at this current valuation, and we're gonna get into the numbers a little bit as well. I wanna talk about the financials, some of their statistics, and their balance sheet, and their current and future share prices. All right, so I've seen a lot of people on the internet strictly focusing on the news surrounding Workhorse's share price. And although news is a good place to start to formulate some of your decisions regarding investments, it's not the be all and end all. There's a lot of other information. So right off the bat, let's get to their share price. At time of filming, it's hovering around the mid 24 mark at 24.42 USD. This is way down from its 52-week high of 30.99, about 21% off. Now, Workhorse is an extremely volatile stock with huge dips and a whopping beta value of 2.79. In the past 5 days alone, they are down 11.81%, which I don't think is quite sounding the alarm, at least for me. If anything, for me, this falling share price is just bringing them closer and closer to a phenomenal buying point range. Just the previous week, we saw a 27.11% increase. So this week is more or less, in my opinion, just a correction coming off that. I don't think there's any core business operations, short-term speculation regarding the USPS contract that is actually driving the share price down. I think it's more or less a correction. We've seen this exact same pattern play out a bunch of times. You can see it in their stock charts. This isn't anything new. I've been saying this all along. They are a very undulating, up and down wave type stock company. This is not out of the ordinary. This could have been predicted, and if I was predicting, another surge would be coming in the coming days. We are already seeing that surge start to take place, in my opinion. We saw a 3.39% increase just today alone. So basically what I'm saying, that this 5-day dip of 11.81% isn't enough to actually get me out of the door at this point. As many of you are probably, if not all of you are probably aware, Workhorse is one of the 3 finalists of the coming USPS contract who are awarding up to $6.3 billion to one or more companies to build up to 180,000 last mile delivery vehicles, or LMDs. These vehicles specialize in the transporting of consumer goods from the warehouse to consumers' doorsteps. If you want more on the specifics of this contract, the competitors who are involved, and Workhorse's advantages, in my opinion, I have a video highlighting all of that. I'll toss the link into the description. I would suggest after you're done with this video, go back, watch that video, get a full circle, clear understanding of where Workhorse stands in amongst the pack. What I don't think enough people are saying and talking about, and what I think is very important to note, is that without this contract being awarded to Workhorse, I think they kind of fail in the short term, and let me explain why. So much of Workhorse's current market cap, their shares outstanding, and therefore their share price is made up of speculation leading up to this USPS contract. This would mean that if they aren't awarded this USPS contract, their share price would fall dramatically. Mark my words, a massive correction would take place. Nobody's disputing that if they aren't awarded the USPS contract. However, I really do think they have a good chance at being awarded at least part of this contract, which would really put some lifeblood into their company. They have a current terrible earnings per share of minus 1.97, which is even relatively weak for a startup company, but it's to be expected for a new electric vehicle company. They obviously don't pay out a dividend. They have a market cap of 2.567 billion, making them a medium cap company, and they don't generate a PE ratio as they have negative earnings. I am trying to drive home the fact that investing in them is somewhat of a gamble. This crazy up and down undulating share price is very typical of a company's share price leading up to a contract reveal, as many investors are simply trying to play or gamble the news. USPS still, as of yet, October 5th, still has yet to release a firm date at which the 6.3 billion contract will be announced to the public. However, many people are saying that October 12th is definitely a day to keep your eye on. This October 12th date is 90 days exactly after the bidding was closed. However, whether or not they release this to the public on that date remains quite unclear. However, as I've said many times before, I will make a video on the day this is released to keep you as informed as possible. I will make a video if I hear anything or see anything before then as well. So why was the share price gaining some steam last week and falling this week? Lordstown Motors, of which Workhorse owns a 10% stake in, is an electric pickup vehicle manufacturer with an initial public offering or IPO set later for this year. Workhorse is going public through a SPAC or a special purpose acquisition company, Diamond Peak Holdings. Lordstown recently received much limelight when the President of the United States, President Trump, revealed and walked around this vehicle on the White House lawn itself. It was quite the spectacle. This shot up Workhorse's share price. However, it has already seen the correction take place. Going into their financials a bit, in the trailing 12 months, Workhorse was only able to generate $376,000 in revenue. This is basically no revenue at all. This USPS contract may be the make or break situation for them as a company. I really do love what they are doing. I love their drone technology, which they have aptly named the Horsefly. This thing, in my opinion, is extremely forward thinking and puts Workhorse above the rest of the pack. They pair their Horsefly drone technology with their electric last mile delivery vehicles to optimize the fashion in which packages are delivered to the consumer's doorstep. However, with limited contracts, the current situation of not even breaking $1 million in revenue is just not viable for the long term. Although this USPS contract is bringing much attention to Workhorse, to Diamond Peak Holdings, and to Lordstown, they do need to generate more revenue and more revenue quickly. However, if Workhorse is awarded this contract or even part of this contract, I think they will be around for the long term. I really do love their core fundamental business operations. I love their ideas. I love their forward thinking. They really do have some sleek, optimized vehicles that they are pairing with drone technology and really just beating the rest of the pack, especially in the last mile delivery sphere, in pretty much across the board. As I've said before, I think around the $22 to $24 range seems to be an emerging support line for the stock, and I am personally buying in additional shares around this $22 mark. This is one of the most speculative plays in my entire portfolio. Most of my portfolio is tied up away in index funds or other really secure large cap companies that are going to perform well in the future. But I do keep a small percentage of my portfolio kind of play money to play around with some of these speculative stocks. Some stocks I think can see huge gains, huge upside like Workhorse can. I also think they stand a very good chance as they are an electric vehicle company. There is a mass movement, a fundamental shift in the way people are thinking about vehicles, about transportation and mobility. And I think it would look very good in terms of optics for USPS to go with an electric vehicle instead of sticking with the old, sticking with, you know, what's already been done with a combustion engine, spewing more CO2 into the atmosphere. I think that era is a bygone era, and I think they need to look into the future and stick with forward-thinking companies. Anyways, guys, just a quick one today. Really am excited to have 4,000 subscribers now. I really do appreciate that. glad to be back in front of the lens. You guys can stare at my ugly mug a bit more. Sorry about that. Hit that subscribe button, demolish that like button. Like I said before, I will have a video on the day it is released, or if I hear anything before. Stick with the plan. Thanks for watching. Cheers.